So I'm good. Healing up real nice. Just ready to get to work in this off-season program and, get better.
Anything different this time around since you've been here a year now? Or is this kind of the off-season program you've almost always been?
Different in what way?
I mean, is it different for you because you're more comfortable here?
Oh, yeah, of course. Second year. Obviously, I know what to expect. I wouldn't say there's anything different other than that, other than, I'm just more comfortable.
Grateful that you didn't have to do the core muscle surgery and that you're able to heal up naturally?
Nah, I did it.
Do the surgery?
Yeah.
Oh, you did? Okay, I'm sorry. How did that go, and how was your recovery, and where are you at right now?
It went well. The recovery went well. I'm like on the 8th week of it now. So I feel good. I feel like I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be.
Amari, Browns added 2 veteran receivers. What do you think how that affects the offense and the whole room?
In a good way. Goodwin, he's real fast. And then Elijah. I feel like talent makes talent better. So, once we get to see everybody on the field, I think all the other guys will respect their talent. And, it'll just make the team better overall.
Knowing about the style for those guys and the speed they bring, I guess, how do you feel like it complements what you do, what DPJ can do, the other guys that are still in that room from last season?
Yeah, I think it just gives us more opportunity as an offense, those guys being able to stretch the field, especially, Elijah as well. He's a South Florida guy, so, I already know what to expect. I've seen a lot of clips of him even before he got here with the route running and everything. So, like I said before, it's just gonna make everybody better.
Amari, how much did that injury affect you last year, and how frustrating was it that it coincided with when Deshaun started playing? So, you didn't really get to kind of open it up with him.
Yeah, it was very frustrating. But, you just gotta roll with the punches, I would say. But that all that's behind me. Excited to get to work, to build, to get better chemistry with Deshaun, and just continue to get better.
Elijah Moore said respect. He looks up to you. Your route running. Was there a previous relationship at all between you and him?
Well, before he got here, yeah. We communicate here and there through text and social media and stuff like that, just because we're from a common place. So yeah.
Work out in the past?
No, we've never worked out together.
Mark, how much better is that chemistry with Deshaun now that you guys have more than a year under your belts and continuing to work at it?
That's why we're here, to get it better. Didn't really get to work out a lot with each other in the offseason because of the surgery. So, that's why we're both here, so that we can build more chemistry and continue to get better.
Amari,
When did you actually have the surgery?
February,
Early February?
I don't know, 8 weeks ago.
So you personally weren't able to go to Houston. I know he hosted some guys. Did you go at all?
Nah.
To this, Amari, but can you tell already how much the offense is going to change in year 2, knowing it's a full season with Deshaun?
Yeah, we got a little bit of that last year for sure. Just, playing in the games with him and coming in on Monday, watching the film, seeing what he could do. It was truly tremendous to see how he could, just create and extend plays. I'm excited to be healthy, just be out there, working that scramble drill with him. He's really a complete player, so I was just excited.
You said you're feeling good and whatnot, but just how much now going forward of your off season here is going to be spent rehabbing versus trying to expand your game? Because typically coming off surgery, guys have to invest their energy in getting their body right more over than tweaking their game.
Yeah, I think I'll be doing both simultaneously. I don't think I'm being held back from much right now. Obviously you don't just want to go out there and, go full throttle. So, obviously I'm gonna be a little bit cautious, but at the same time, I'm here to get working.
Answering this, and obviously you don't have to if you don't want to, but did you go to Philadelphia? Did you have Dr. Myers do the surgery?
Yeah.
You did? Okay, thank you.
Amari, how long after the season ended did you decide you were going to go the surgery route?
Like a month.
What made you decide ultimately that route that you thought was best?
'Cause I was hurting. Yeah.
Do you have any indication from the coaches yet how the offense will be a little more pass happy in this year?
No, I would say just the 2 meetings that we had, it's more of a balanced thing that we're looking to have with the offense, to marry the run and the pass together. All right, thanks.
telling me and Spike were finna go at it.
You going to game 2?
Of course.
That would be awesome.
Thinking about going to MSG, I'm not sure. But any energy he give me, I'm doing twice fold. I'm in there crawling. He giving play calls. He over here trying to talk to Dono. It's like, come on, man.
Screens and stuff.
I mean, he's seen it for 30 years. I was like 40 years. He's seen it for 40. He's seen everything.
Cavs leaving it up tonight then?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, they got a taste of the pace that they're gonna get, the kind of physicality that the regular season really doesn't have on average. So I think they're kind of ready for what they're getting and what to expect.
The new additions to the defense. Got a couple new faces in there.
I'm excited. I mean, guys are hungry, ready to work. Already, talking about getting some extra work done. After workout was done, just trying to, start from that small group, seeing who we can get, and then trying to keep on adding more people to the fold, getting everybody stay late and getting some extra work, just trying to get 1% better.
What was your reaction when Jim Schwartz was hired as coordinator?
I mean, I was excited for the opportunity. I know he's, worked with a lot of great players, a lot of great defensive linemen, gotten the most out of those guys, and he plays wide open, as they say. Letting guys just run free and make plays on the ball. And he has the guys behind us cleaning everything up and making sure that they're coming downhill and that we're causing chaos and they're cleaning up everything up behind us. And I think that's how it should really function.
Early kind of interactions been with him?
I mean, positive. We've been talking scheme a little bit as far as what he expects out of me, where I'm going to line up, and the kind of positions I'll be in on first and second down. I haven't really talked about third down yet, but just how he's planning to change my play style, which from how we've talked, not that much.
Did you know much about Tom? Your game. I mean, you've already established yourself with a fantastic resume, young in your career. But just how can Schwartz make you an even better player?
I don't think his emphasis is to make me a better player. I know he will with what he's doing and the scheme that he's putting out there for us. But he's out there to make us all a better defense. He's out there to get the most out of us and to make the best defense possible for the players he got out there. And I think his scheme will be tuned towards us, especially the guys up front, letting us go out there and hunt. And he knows he has some great guys on the back end as well. And so he's excited for the opportunity to utilize all of us. And I know he's going to make the most out of the talent he has in the room. And if he does, that'll showcase not only my talent, but all of our talents.
How does it help you to have a guy next to you in Dalvin Tomlinson who's big and can eat up blockers? Does that help you as an edge rusher?
No, we got two of them. I mean, Jordan can do it. I mean, Dalvin can do it. I mean, we got a couple of guys who, if they get going, they start moving forward and getting off the ball. They can eat up a double team. They can get off blocks and make TFLs and cause chaos in the backfield. So Dalvin is very impressive. I mean, he has a nice resume himself. So looking forward to the opportunity to work with him. And from how he speaks and how much he's looking forward to the opportunity, I think we'll be able to make something really good happen.
Did you know anything about him before he got here?
I mean, I watched him before. I watched him in college. I watched him a little bit in the pros. I can't say I've watched him consistently, but when he's on the field, he stands out.
I know you knew Chris Smith very well. I mean, just what are your feelings today on hearing about the passing of Chris?
I was disbelief. It was a shock. That was sad. I mean, it wasn't anything I was expecting, waking up to. I know a couple of people called and texted me, and it was just so surprising. Chris is one of the kindest players and people that I've ever met. He was willing to give his shirt off his back for you, and he was always a great energy, and just person to be around in the facility, outside the facility, and it's just hard knowing that people like that can just go at any time. You talk to them, yesterday or today, and the next day he's gone. You just never know. You never know what people are dealing with or what they're struggling with.
Myles, back to the D-line with Dalvin, with Okoronkwo. It's kind of been that revolving door over the last couple of years. You've had to kind of get used to different guys at D-tackle and that other D-end. Is it nice to know that these guys are here, they're on long-term deals, and try to just build things over years?
Well, I hope so. Hope we can make this consistent, make this a group that can be feared, because we're going to be here for a long time. We're going to be consistently good for a long time, and I feel like the Eagles have kind of the recipe. How they've had Fletch, and they've had Jernigan, they've had Hargrave, who just left, they've had Graham, now they got Sweat. All these guys who can make plays in the backfield, consistently good. They have their guys who are mainstays who've been there for a long time, and they got some new additions here and there. But you have guys that well, damn, we're facing the Eagles defensive line. We gotta buckle up. We gotta get ready. I'm hoping that we can put that same fear into people.
Myles, I know at the end of last year you were dealing with some nagging stuff still from the accident. I guess just how have you felt during the offseason and getting that time to rest, and how's your training been going and everything?
It's been a journey in dealing with the shoulder during this offseason. Then the Pro Bowl, wanted to add one with a little dislocated toe, so that didn't do me any favors. But it's been consistently good. It's been getting better little by little, and honestly, I got more beef with the Pro Bowl and messing on my toe than I do with the shoulder right now. I think the shoulder will be just fine. The toe is the most nagging thing. Trying to get out there, do agility, run and plant, stuff that I can do, but it's just nagging stuff like you said. It's just frustrating. But by the time season rolls around, I don't think any of that will be an issue.
That happened. I mean, it kind of like broke Brown's Twitter or whatever. Is it when you went down during that?
Only thing went through my mind was ain't no way. It was like my friends and some of my agent were like, you sure you want to do this? I was like, yeah, sure, why not? And first wall I jump up on, hit my foot, and my foot goes numb. I'm like, oh damn, I just broke my toe. I'm thinking, dang, Brown's Twitter is gonna go crazy right now. And so I finish and I start walking off. I was like, yeah, I can't feel the top of my foot. I'm like, there's no way I get set back like this from the Pro Bowl. But I mean, fortunately enough, wasn't the broken toe, just dislocation, and it's been a little bit difficult here and there. But honestly, I don't view anything holding me back when the season comes around.
Is it your big toe, and did you think that you might have to have surgery or anything?
I didn't think it was kind of surgery. It was my big toe, or it is my big toe. But it looked like a pug for a second, and I got it back there, found it back in, and that was good. Well, good enough.
I have to. I'm sorry, I forgot. I forgot the question again.
Myles, how much has Okoronkwo kind of reached out to you? How much has he tried to kind of pick your brain over the last month or so, since he's signed here? Just kind of getting to know you and trying to learn from you.
I wouldn't say we talked too much over the phone beforehand, but this week, I mean, we've already went to dinner. We've talked, pretty much all day. Just trying to get to know him on the field. And when we're just sitting in the locker room, we're talking, seeing our tendencies, seeing what we like to do, seeing what we have in common. Just little stuff, how we can interact and build that chemistry, so that when the time comes, not only do I want to play with this guy, but I like this guy. I want to see him prosper. I mean, you can play with a guy and know he's really good, and you can like a guy and want to pick for him or want to play for him that gets him open. Those are things that make you go the extra effort, the extra mile to see a guy prosper, instead of just he's good. I want to see him make plays just because he's the guy, and it goes both ways.
With so many new faces on this defense, you've over the years grown into a really big leader for the defense. Do you see that kind of expanding with all of these new faces and even the new defensive coordinator?
I mean, I think my role still stays the same. Being a leader for this team and for this defense, and I've got to maintain that consistency and persistence to lead. And as long as I maintain that, I think we'll be on the right way. Just got to make sure everyone's pointing in the same direction.
Game stays over after that?
Retired. Done. Like that right there, it's over. Hoops and obstacle courses are in the fine print. No more for MG.
I mean, that's not a natural drill that you guys do, jumping up walls and crawling under stuff.
It's the run away from the cops obstacle course. Jumping over a wall or a fence and then ducking over a table or dunking under a table. It didn't make sense to me. Doesn't make sense to me now. But, I mean, they're looking for new things to do and new activities and obstacles to try. And I have to say that wasn't it.
Because Roger Goodell at the Super Bowl, he was like, everybody loved it.
Who loved it? There wasn't a single guy that I talked to who was like, yeah, I wanted it. Let's run this back.
I think the fans, I don't know, I guess it was a moneymaker. But anyways, so what would you propose to honor guys that do make the Pro Bowl?
You see, I think something like including the fans. Like, say you got the D-line and the O-line to be quarterbacks, and we played with fans, and like they were the skill positions, and then you had fans being quarterback and like running backs, and then you had like the skill guys playing their natural position, but you had fans and just fans playing those two, the quarterback and running back, and throwing to them and trying to play out the backfield. I think that could be fun.
Their toes then.
Well, that's on them. They don't want to see me dislocate my toe.
Myles, I know last year you talked about there's a theme for each one of your off seasons. Can you share what the theme is this year, if there is one?
Have some fun. It's been up and down for a while. Like this last year had its ups and downs. I feel like my career here has had its ups and downs, but you got to make the most out of things. Got to be grateful, especially with everything that's going on in the world, everything that's happened from day to day. I'm just trying to make the most out of every moment I have here. I can't. Yesterday's gone. Tomorrow's not guaranteed. I'm trying to make the most out of today. I'm trying to make the most, get the most out of myself and from everyone I come in contact with. Just because that lasting impression I have on everyone I interact with could be the last thing they remember of me. So I want to make it a good memory. I want to be a good person to be around, as subjective as that is.
You said that you didn't think your role or whatever would change much with Schwartz. A lot's made about him using the wide nine. Is that something you already doing, or would that be an adjustment if he wants you to do that?
I think it's something I've done naturally. I don't think it's something I really thought about. It's just my natural width and angle at a 9 technique, and he might tune it up a little bit, just to be a little bit more detailed towards what he wants. But I mean, if the guys get the most out of it, they're able to keep the edge, make plays in the backfield. Just because in the 6 technique, it's kind of hard. Sometimes you get that tackle doubling you. Sometimes they're trying to fan you, guys trying to reach you. Like, you don't know what to expect. At a 9, it's pretty much like playing a 5, except you're going against a tight end. And I like my matchup against every tight end.
Offseason, you faced Lamar Jackson a lot in the past. He's in your division. Have you been following that story at all, keeping eyes on it, or is it all about just what you guys are doing here?
It's a love-hate relationship. I like going against the best talent. But I'd have damn near 80 sacks if I could have got this guy down every time. And I want to see the best for him occur. But at the end of the day, whether he goes to the Ravens or somewhere else, someone's going to pick him up and he's going to play fantastic football somewhere. And I'm just looking forward to wherever that is. And if it's playing twice a year or once every 3-4 years, so be it.
every time though, and his money.
Need somebody that can keep in front of them.
I can do it.
Greg, I know you said a tweet on it, but when you saw the trade request stuff and you just vehemently denied it, just what went through your mind when you saw it?
I was mad. I really just don't think people really like truly understand how much, first of all, Cleveland means to me. Like getting drafted here, the fans embracing me right away, just things like that. So I really just don't understand, something like that. I wouldn't do that. I like truly adore Cleveland. So yeah, I was definitely mad.
Why did you change agents then?
That's a personal reason. I didn't trade agents to try to get out of here. I traded agents because I think, for my career, it'll help me in the long run. So I traded agents just for personal reasons.
Hey, Greg, a lot was made of when you tweeted no when somebody on Twitter asked you about playing in the slot. So what did you mean by that?
Yeah, I think that was the last year's issue. Now with a new defensive coordinator, just, being able to sit down, talk to him, see a new scheme and things like that. I feel like a little bit last year, I feel like I was more of a linebacker, in certain instances than an actual cornerback. Talking to, Jim Schwartz and being able to, get in his new scheme and things like that. I feel like we'll work very well together.
So are you open to playing some inside?
Yeah, I feel like that was never, like the clear issue was just not me playing in the slot. Like, against Cincinnati, guarding a guy like Tyler Boyd, guarding guys like that. Like, I have no problem with doing that. I just feel like in certain cases it was just I was more of a linebacker than a cornerback.
So do you like the role that Jim Schwartz is laying out for you, and are you excited about it, and what do you think it's going to be like?
Yeah, I'm super excited. His track record, speaks for itself. Just the way he uses his D-line, is going to help us corners, so much more. So, yeah, just getting to talk to him, seeing how the scheme is going to be ran, I'm super excited.
Can be like a leader for him. I mean, he's going to need some guys to kind of get this thing going in the right direction. Do you feel like, are you going to be that guy for him, or one of those guys for him?
Yeah, I mean, that's a goal of mine, going into year 3, being around the program, seeing things that, we need to fix and things like that. Being more of a vocal leader this year and things like that, I feel like I'm definitely ready to take that next role.
What do you think needs fixing most on the defense?
I think it's just consistency. That's what we're preaching, right now is just, being consistent. We've had games last year where we looked super dominant, then we had games where we didn't. So I think our thing is going to be, being consistent.
Greg, is there a chance things could change in training camp and you end up on the outside, or are you the nickelback going into this offseason program?
I would say no role is kind of stamped. With his new scheme, I feel like if you watch his stuff before, the corners that he had before, everyone plays, a lot of everything, So I kind of don't know exactly what my role will be, but, just talking to him, I'm just super excited to, get with my new teammates and, get ready for this next season.
You do play in the slot a fair amount. Do you think you'll be that much better for it, for having played it some last year, and that you might be able to shine and excel in it even more this year if you do?
Yeah, I feel like I'm, super confident, whatever role, that I need for that game or for that week, I'm super confident that I'll be able to get the job done.
Greg, I guess go ahead, Chris.
What has Juan meant to, how much have you talked to Juan since he's signed here, and what can he mean to this room, just kind of, coming in, having won a couple of Super Bowls and that sort of thing?
Yeah, I actually met Juan, I think last year. We trained together in the offseason last year. So I was super excited, getting to, meet him again in person and, just talking to him, and a guy who has championship pedigree, he knows what it takes. So he's going to be able to be that guy, when the going gets tough and things like that, he knows how to get through it. So, we're super excited to get him in this building.
Greg, I know you played, obviously, some slot. Your rookie year, it was more last year. I guess when you were playing in the slot more outside less, did you feel like last season, as it were, on that you weren't getting to build on some of the things that you were starting to excel at from your rookie year? Was that part of maybe the frustration there?
Yeah, that was too. And then, we just weren't winning ball games. That's the biggest thing for me, team success. So, we're not winning. I feel like I wasn't making a lot of plays. I'm just frustrated. But I think in this next year, just talking to Schwartz once again and, seeing his new scheme and things, I think it's going to be great.
Specific to you guys, Greg, with Coach Howard leaving, and obviously Brandon was here before, just talk about that transition of having a new specific corner coach now.
Yeah, it's crazy now because we're split up a little bit more than we were last year. But yeah, I was with B. Lynch. He was a corner coach last year. He just didn't really, have the title. But I'm super excited for him. He's a great coach. We love him, and we're expecting to do big things this year.
Did your frustration ever get to the point where you thought you might want to go somewhere else?
Nah. I said it from the jump. Like I want to be one of those guys to stay in one place their whole career. Once again, the fans and everything about Cleveland is all what I'm about. I'm hoping to be here for the long run.
You feel like, even now with, going to the Cavs-Knicks series and all that kind of stuff, it even just brings you more embedded into the community and how much you love it here, right? Can you talk about
it was crazy. Going to the game, it was just electric. It just shows what the future can hold. Obviously we got to start now. This is day one of workout, so, we got to keep building upon, but, trying to get to that playoff, trying to get to that Super Bowl run, I could just tell, how excited the fans were, for the Cavs, so I can only imagine for us. Am I a good softball player? Oh, I'm crazy. Yeah, I'm great.
Greg, do you feel with a new defensive coordinator and all the new players on this defense, has there been fresh life, I guess, kind of breathed into the defense, that side of the ball, coming back into the building this week, do you feel like?
For sure. I think you could just tell by, everybody coming back. We have all of our guys here, super excited, ready to go. And, once again, just seeing his track record, he's been a part of Super Bowl defenses. He had top 5, top 1 defenses, so I think we're super excited.
You've had you guys have had a lot of talent on your side of the ball the last couple of years. So I guess, what can Jim Schwartz do as a defensive coordinator to really just bring the best out of all of you guys and get you to all play as a cohesive unit?
Yeah, I think it's just putting guys in the best position to succeed, and I feel like he has shown that in the past. Getting our guys up front to go get after the quarterback, which is he's shown that in the past. So we're super excited with him, and as a secondary, seeing his track record with the D-line is only going to help us out. We're super excited.
Any recommendations on any receivers from Michigan State?
Jaden Reed, yeah, my guy.
How's year 2 started for you here?
It's been well. Yesterday was good to see everyone, the coaching staff, the front office, the players, teammates. Good to be around them, laugh a little bit, talk about our offseason and things like that. So it was good to be back in the building.
Is everything just more comfortable, Deshaun, given where the uncertainty that you were in last year at this time?
Most definitely. I have a vision that me and the staff and this organization want to go in. Last year was just kind of, whirlwind, but, it was a good learning lesson for myself and for me to be able to grow. So coming in this year is definitely, I'm ahead of the game from where I was, previously.
How much have you guys been able to get together, the receivers, running backs, whatever, down in Houston this offseason?
Pretty much my whole offseason. It started, in February when I started training and throwing. Guys was coming in. Some guys stayed the whole time. Some guys was already there training. Some guys would fly in for a week, fly back out, and come back later on. So, pretty much all the receivers came through at least once, and that was a good sign to see.
How much different will the offense look, do you think, this year than last year?
I'm not sure. That's still, in the works of what Kevin and AVP want to do and myself. And once we get all the guys here and we kind of, see how this roster is going to turn, then we'll have a decision on how that offense is going to look. But, we don't want to go in planning this is how it's going to look, and if it doesn't work, then, we got to be open to be able to adjust all the time.
It seems like a lot of people question or wonder, are you still capable of being the quarterback that you were in 2020? What do you say to people that question that or wonder about that?
I don't say anything. I mean, that's their own opinions. I know who I am. This organization know who I am, and the guys that I play with know who I am. And so I mean, everyone have their own opinions of what they want to say or how they want to kind of just the fact of last year. But at the end of the day, I have an opportunity to go out there and prove what I need to prove in 2023, and that's what I'm focused on. I'm not focused on what anybody else have to say.
How much can the additions of Elijah Moore and Marquise Goodwin help you as quarterback?
We have guys that have experience. We have guys that made a lot of plays for their organizations that they've been a part of. And we have guys that want to come in here and work. And, last year we were very young, but with those additions, with more experience and more, speed and talent, it's going to bring up everyone else. And, you just got to get the ball in these guys' hands and let them make plays. And that's what I want to do.
Deshaun, I know the last time we talked to you, talked about sitting down with Kevin and man-to-man, like going through this offense, changes that have to happen. I guess how have those early conversations gone, and now that you guys are back in the building, how are you going to continue that?
Yeah, I mean, every day is an open conversation for all of us. Today's meetings we're same way. Getting to know, how he think, how I think. Studying defenses, studying this offense of what we want to do. Coming up this upcoming season. But yeah, we had plenty of talks, throughout from when I came in the building last year to now. So we want to continue to build that relationship and continue to build our trust in within each other. And if all three of us are on the same page, I think we can be very successful.
Are you about the fact that Amari did undergo the core muscle surgery and that he will be back to his 100% healthy self this season?
I'm very excited. I mean, he's one of the best route runners, if not the best route runner in the game. So with his experience, his talent, and the way that he played last year, of course, before he got hurt, but even when he got hurt, he was still making plays. I'm excited to be able to have him full go this upcoming season. And we're going to spend a lot of time, with each other. And once he gets fully healthy, then we can really put the time in and the work.
Deshaun, Drew left to go to Arizona, the OC, but Alex sort of kind of is the de facto quarterback coach, even without the title. How beneficial is that for you, just the kind of the continuity, even losing a coach in that room, but still gaining, keeping Alex there as kind of the guy to work with?
It's definitely good. It's not too big of a change. Drew did a heck of a job. He's going to do a heck of a job down in Arizona. Best of luck to Drew and his family and that organization. But, AVP, he has a different style of coaching and teaching. He played the game also at this level. And, with him being around guys that, play at the highest of the highest level, being in Green Bay and Cincinnati, and then coming back here is definitely, key for me. So I want to learn from him of what he, the guys that he's been around when he was playing, but also the guys he coached. And I think that we can, really make something happen and do some great things together.
Feel for you this year than it did a year ago?
I mean, honestly, it's night and day. Last year I've never been to Cleveland, only twice, when I came on a pre-visit and when we played. Outside of that, it was my first time up here with everything going on. But, all that is in the past, like I said before, and I'm looking to move forward with my life and my career and just being able to really plant myself in this community, in this city, and then also in this organization for a very, very long time and win a whole bunch of games.
Feel that connection happening with the community? You've talked about that a lot.
Most definitely, yeah. During my off season, I've been doing stuff. Everything is don't have to be filmed or put out on social media. So, but I was just in the community this earlier. No, it was last week actually. Last week we went down to the Fatima. I think I'm saying it right. Fatima. Am I saying it right? Fatima Family Center. Down over there by the League Park. That was cool. I've never been in that area before, so it was good to be around those kids. And then we have some older citizens also in there that had a good time, and we definitely, signed some things and just, spend some good time together. So I'm definitely looking forward to just continue to just be around and just show who I really am.
What impact will it have on you this offseason that you still do have to deal with those 2 pending civil suits? How does that impact your mindset, and just where are you with all that?
My mindset, I'm healthy. I'm great. I'm happy. I'm blessed to be in this position I am. Anything that has to do with legal side, I let my legal team, deal with that. My main focus is continue to grow as a individual, as a person, and then just continue to grow as a football player. And if I can continue to do that and look forward and look at all the positive things around me, then I know things can continue to be blessings that surround me.
To get Josh Dobbs back in the quarterback room, and then Jacoby getting this new opportunity with Washington. What was just your reaction to all the moves?
It was awesome. First, starting with Jacoby, having the opportunity in Washington, and it's funny because, I trained with Quincy, and Quincy knows Jacoby, I know Jacoby. So, during training sessions, we would FaceTime all the time, and it'd be me, Jacoby, me, Geno Smith, me, Josh Dobbs, kind of on FaceTime while we're training, and, all supporting each other. So, best of luck to Jacoby and what he's going to do in Washington. He's going to be a great addition to that locker room. And then having Dobbs back, a guy who I've been around last year, but I've been around Dobbs since I was in high school, growing up in the same area. So it's good to see him come back, and what he did whenever he was away for the building for that short period of time for Tennessee was definitely dope to see too. So it's good to have the guys around me, and good to see the guys have success and opportunities.
Good. Looking back at the 6 games that you played at the end of the year last year, do you think there was a period, and now it will be easier this year, that the team had to kind of learn how to play with you, and you had to kind of learn how to play with them?
Of course. I mean, we're still going to continue to grow. I play a little bit different style than the previous quarterbacks they had here. The play calling is going to be different. It's a different style of, quarterback play that Kevin had around. He was, with Kirk Cousins, Case Keenum, and then, go from, Baker to Jacoby, then to me. It's kind of different styles of playing what I was doing in Houston. So, it's always growing. We always continue to try to, find ways to improve. We're going to have our battles and our challenges, but you got to be able to adjust and move forward from that.
Table, how excited are you to have him?
Akins, he's a playmaker. He's a guy that played a lot of ball, made some big plays down in Houston, when I was there, and then even last year. So having this addition, into an already, stout tight end group with Chief and Harrison and Zaire, that's a great room to be around, and a great, opportunity for them to be able to take their room in that position to a whole nother level for this offense.
Deshaun, did you have any reaction when you saw Jalen Hurts sign the contract that he did?
I mean, it was dope. I'm excited for him. He's definitely a friend of mine. We trained together. We hung out together. I sent him congratulations and told him dinner's on him when we go to Philly, and he said it's on him. So I took care of it last year. This year he's got to take care of it. So it's definitely good to be able to see him. He deserves every penny, and all the other guys that's up next deserve it too.
Do you ever feel any kind of way about, what's going on with Lamar Jackson over in Baltimore? I mean, so much is made about the fact that he wanted the kind of contract that you had. Do you ever talk to Lamar? If so, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I reach out to Lamar all the time. We talk through, text, through Instagram. We don't really talk about the business side, because that's his space, that's his privacy. From outside looking in, I hope he gets what he wants. Like I said, I never talked to him about it, so I can't speak on, his business side. But, he's a great player, and he's going to be, if he's back in Baltimore, he's going to be special for them. And if it's somewhere else, then he's going to be special for that organization. He's a talent that the NFL need. And we love to see him watch him play unless we're playing against him. But hope he gets what he wants and what he deserves. And I think he deserves everything, all of it.
2 more, we're gonna wrap.
It's been really a lot of it working out and having guys come and meet you. What's the best part though of being back here in this building in Berea and having these guys together with you?
I think it's just that bond and that chemistry. And it's not so much of football. It's just really that brotherhood that you build, being around each other in the offseason. You have more time to really get to know this guy. You're not just training, and a lot of guys are, resting, going home to see families. Guys are coming over, and, we're training, then we're going out to eat. We're going to dinners, and we're hanging out, in social places. So I think that's the biggest thing. And once we get back here, that chemistry and that vibe, it just takes it to a whole nother level because we know how we going to react in certain situations. And we got to continue to build that even when we get back here. And that's the beauty of just having that off season and having guys come around.
What did you think when you saw Jim Schwartz get hired and then the major additions on the defensive side of the ball?
I mean, it's huge. He's a guy that, won a Super Bowl, I think it was 2017 with Philly. So he's been at the highest of the highs. And that's what I feel like this organization needed. I think this is what that locker room needed, not just for the defensive side, but for the offense, so we can compete. We can go out there and be aggressive. We can go out there and talk trash, but be healthy at the same time. And then a guy that's been around and knows this game and is going to challenge that defensive side is going to challenge us each and every week. So if he can rise that defense to a whole nother level, we can do the same thing offensively. And as a team, if all three phases, special teams, defense, and offense can do that, then we can have, a successful season.
When you walked in, you were saying that you expect magical things to happen in 2023. So, what do you mean by that? What kind of magic is that?
Yeah, a lot of wins. A lot of W's. Having an opportunity to get in that playoffs, and then once we get in that and the big dance, then anything can happen. And I'm not the type to always make promises and things like that. So I'm not gonna sit up here and do that. But the biggest thing is to win a lot of games, have this city rocking. And like Jim said, in his press conference, one of the biggest things that the city want is to be able to have that parade at the end of the year. So that's the ultimate goal, but we have steps and things and work to put in before we get there. But, yeah, that's what I really meant about that. Thank you.
Okay, first of all, my condolences to Chris Smith's family. That was tough news to hear today. I didn't know the young man, but I know a lot of people in this building did. I know players played with him, so that's just way too young. That's a tragedy, so definitely thinking about his family today. Talking about football, here we are, day 2 of this offseason program. excited to have the guys back in the building. As you can imagine, it's no fun when this building's half empty. It's meant to have players in there, so it's just exciting to walk down here to see you guys, and there's players in the locker room, and they're yelling at each other, and they're carrying on, and they're dribbling a basketball and whatever else they're doing. But it's just good to have those guys in here. So, for us, this is really a foundational time. It's about getting foundational knowledge of our systems, and you really have to start at square one. If you're going to build on top of it, you got to be real sound in what you're doing. So that's really how we focused this offseason program in these first few days and these first few weeks. It's just really starting at the basics, starting with early meetings, and it's onboarding week. We're not just jumping right into football. We want to talk to each player, talk to them individually about what they can get better at, and then dive into the nitty-gritty, and that's what we're doing with this time in the classroom. So with that, I will take any questions.
And Deshaun was just in and described last year as a whirlwind and how it's kind of a day and night difference from where he was last year. Does that feel that way to you, that there's kind of a freshness to this given all the circumstances of last season?
Yeah, I think that's fair to say, Tom, and I think, for every player, things change year to year, teams change year to year. We talk about that, and you have new faces in this building, you have new coaches, new players, so year to year just feels so different. And then certainly for Deshaun to have that season under his belt and those experiences and be able to learn from everything that's happened last year into the past, I think he'll be a better player for it. I think we'll all be better for everything we've been through.
Could you address the Perry and Winfield situation? First, will he remain a member of the team? Is he here or is he in Houston? And just going forward with him, how do you treat him?
Yeah, I think, as you can imagine, Tony, I won't get into who's here on a day-to-day basis, that type of thing. It's a voluntary program. With any of our players, listen, I want them to be safe when they're not in this building. I want them to be, making sure that they're following all rules outside of this building and making sure that they're being safe in the community. And in this particular instance, we'll gather all the information that we need to and monitor it and that type of thing. But I'm not ready to go past that other than to tell you, taking all of this in as we go.
Member of the team.
Yes.
Amari said he had the core muscle surgery in February. When do you expect him to be able to do stuff for you on the field?
Yeah, that's a good question, Scott. We'll take it slow with him. He's feeling good, but I'm not on the field with those guys for another couple weeks. OTAs aren't until May, so he's somebody that we will not rush him back to the field. We're going to make sure that we take our time and utilize all these days to get his body right, get his mind right. But when that is, I can't say exactly.
Able to heal his foot without surgery, or did he have a procedure?
He did not have surgery, so he's in rehab as we speak as well.
Take him a little while to ramp up. Right?
Yeah, he's ramping up. He's doing a good job down in the training room. He's doing a good job.
What kind of message do you deliver on the first day yesterday? Is it a set a tone type of meeting?
Yeah, I mean it is April, so you do have some time until that first game rolls around. But yesterday was really the first thing that we're going to do as the 2023 Browns. That's day one. Again, it's voluntary. We want this to be a place where the guys can come and get a lot of work done in a safe, competitive, fun environment. But I don't think they need Newt Rockney speeches in April. I think they need to understand what they need to do day to day, what each player needs to get better at. I think that's such a major part of April, early parts of these programs, find something to get better at, whether that's mentally or physically.
You sort of thought that the Greg Newsome situation would be much ado about nothing. Are you kind of happy to hear him talk about coming back in with a great new attitude and be excited, and that's not an issue?
Yeah, I mean, as you know, Mary Kay, I don't put much stock in social media. Sorry, guys. But, I think Greg's in a great place. I think he's excited, like all our guys are, and you take each situation as it comes.
Kevin, how much different will your offense be with Elijah Moore and Marquise Goodwin?
Yeah, I think every year you better be different. I think, Jeff, there's things that we've already gone over with the team that are going to be different. And then it's a matter of carving out roles for each of our players. You mentioned Elijah, Marquise, guys that are new to our system. We got to find out what they do well. I have a pretty good feel for it and understanding just based on the players and the tape and that type of thing. But I think part of our job as coaches is to use this spring to find out what really clicks for our players, the skill guys, what clicks for the quarterback, and then you streamline all of that into your offense going into the season.
So along those lines, how worn out has the whiteboard gotten this offseason?
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, there's no shortage of plays. You'll never run out of plays. And I think for us as coaches, you spend so much time in the offseason studying other teams, studying yourself, studying college football. Great ideas come from all levels of football, high school, college. They're all good plays. I think it ultimately becomes what can your players own? What can your quarterback own? What can your receivers own? What becomes second nature for them? So while we could draw up 1,000 plays, and we have, it's important that you try to drill down for your players and give them things that they can go practice, things that they can go get really good at. Look around the league, and sometimes there's beauty in the simplicity of what people do. So you don't want to bog your players down with X's and O's.
Aside from what happened to Winfrey, just second-year player in a position of dire need, what did Schwartz see in him, and was he excited about working with him?
Yeah, I think, I don't want to single anybody out. I think Jim's excited about a lot of guys along that front. Some of the veterans we're able to add in that room, some guys that have played meaningful snaps. I think we have a variety of talent in that defensive line room, and I think we're excited about it.
Since it's your fourth year, your fourth new beginning, actually it didn't because of COVID. But anyway, are you doing anything different now than you did last year was a normal year? Anything different at this time of year?
Yeah, I mean, we'll structure. Yeah, I mean, every year you're looking at your program and what you can do better. Maybe maybe we did too much meeting time there. We need more time in walk through here. We need to in 7-on-7. We want to hit this more. So you're constantly tinkering with that. But the structure of what we do will remain largely intact. Obviously, we're going to be out there one less week, so cutting off the last week of the offseason program is new for us with that Hall of Fame game coming.
We know your 3 off seasons have been uniquely challenging prior to this, starting with COVID. Does this feel normal so far?
How much different is it with so much less uncertainty?
Yeah, I mean, obviously that plays into it. I mean, that year to year you got to deal with things, and that was one of the things that we had to work through with repetitions and getting both guys ready. So that was unique, but there's always going to be something like Tony tried to get me to allude to, and you just got to be ready to roll with the punches.
Anything less than the playoffs unacceptable to you this year and probably everybody in the building?
I mean, I think every building, Mary Kay, I hope all 32 clubs would feel like playoffs are a goal every single season. I can promise you 32 clubs are going to tell their teams, like we are going to, that your goal is to win the Super Bowl. I mean, that has to be your goal every single year. So I don't think that changes year to year.
Kevin, I know it's only a couple days in the building, but what's kind of been the feedback you've gotten from the defensive guys about Jim and his style, his scheme, and everything like that?
Yeah, I would say it's early. I think a lot of this is getting to know their teammates, some of their new teammates. But obviously, having Coach Schwartz in the room yesterday and just his vision for our defense and how we're going to play and talking through it with each one of the position groups, I think is an exciting part of what this offseason is. It's getting to know Coach Schwartz and his style and how it's different, how sometimes it's maybe a little bit the same, but how it's different, where the guys fit into it. So I think all of that is exciting when you talk about year one for that defense.
What about for you personally? I mean, you didn't really have much of a relationship with him before he got here.
Yeah.
What's it been like the last couple of months to get to know him personally?
Yeah, Coach has been great. Like I told you guys when we hired Coach, I mean, in a lot of ways we're very similar in terms of our background, kind of where we're from, those type of things. We see the game very, very similarly. I'm very, very blessed to have Jim Schwartz. I walk out my office, I got Coach Schwartz on the left, I got Bill Callahan on the right. I mean, I'm blessed to have the wealth of knowledge, the wealth of experience with those two guys.
Kevin, where is Jakeem Grant
He's
in
here.
his recovery? He's here. Yeah. And, I mean, are you hoping that he'll kind of slide into that primary return role?
Yeah, disappointed for Jakeem last season in that injury. I know he was, but he has rehabbed like crazy. He's determined. He's doing a great job in the training room to get better. So he's of one mind, and I appreciate that. He's a pro. So we'll see. You can't rush those things. Achilles, you got to just make sure that we're being safe and appropriate in his rehab, but he's doing a really nice job.
Achilles, and does that change your mind about these guys doing sort of a small group workout?
No, yeah, I mean, that's unfortunate. I feel terrible for Mike. I mean, above anything else, I just feel bad for the kid. I mean, it's always disappointing when you lose a guy to an injury like that. But that's part of playing football is practicing football and weight training and running and those type of things. And he didn't do anything wrong. Nobody did anything wrong. He just very, very unfortunate.
Kevin, I mean, I know all this is voluntary right now, but when you have, all the new pieces that you guys have, especially on defense coming in, I guess how much can be accomplished during this voluntary portion of the offseason?
Yeah, I think a lot, actually. I think, we spend a lot of time to make sure that we're very hyper efficient with our meeting time with these players. We want to make sure that what we're setting out to cover each day is concise. We're trying to keep it light, to keep them engaged, because you're right, it's voluntary. So we want them to want to be here. We want them to want to be around their teammates, and then we can cover ground when it comes to offense, defense, or special teams.
There's always another wave of free agency. To you as the coach, how important is it to get guys in as soon as possible to participate in the off-season program?
Yeah, I think you got to be flexible there, Tony. I think that roster is constantly churning. I think back to the season where you may get a guy showing up on Monday and he's dressing on Sunday, so you got to ramp him up quickly. So as coaches, you're always in that mindset of we'll get anybody ready in however much time you give us. But we're excited about the guys that are in here and working.
In a couple of weeks, once again, it's no longer the centerpiece of your off season. There's no first round pick that's going to be coming in here to be like the missing piece. Just how is that, I guess, affected maybe the input that you and your staff gives Andrew? Is they're looking at guys round 3 and later.
Yeah, I don't think it affects our process at all when it comes to the coach's role in the draft process. Andrew does a really, really good job with taking everyone's opinion. I think he runs our meetings efficiently. We spend a lot of time on guys that maybe we see differently, and we hear each other out, and we put the tape back on if you need to. So I don't think the lack of those top picks has altered our process really at all.
A couple more. Given the offseason, you got a lot done. Free agency, trade. Was that the plan, or were you surprised there's so much business was done?
Yeah, Jim, I think it's kind of like a season, and I think that's my off season is Andrew's in season, and I think he's always has a plan, and you got to be ready to adjust. Sometimes trades materialize when you didn't think they were going to, and free agency, certain guys become available. So Andrew went into the season, as you can imagine, with a strong plan, but I thought he did a nice job with the help of the staff, his group, of finding opportunities to add good players, and it came in a variety of signings. Some of them are big dollar signings, some not so much. I think you got to be ready to work really throughout all of free agency, and it's not really only about just that first and second day. So I thought Andrew really did a nice job of having that plan, but then being ready both that first week, the second week, into this draft season, being ready to just find opportunities to make our team better.
Kevin, you talked about GOK. What about Sione and Anthony? You know, any update on their progress?
Yeah, no update on anybody's injury rehab other than to say everybody's doing a great job. Everybody's doing what they're supposed to do. They're coming along, and then I'll update you guys as we get closer to getting out in the field. Everybody's rehabbing kind of on their – I don't want to get into who's here and who's not here, but they're all rehabbing. They're all doing exactly what they're supposed to do.
On Perry, you guys do have big goals and plans for this season. Just sort of in general terms, will you have, just a very low tolerance for off the field indiscretions and behavior this year, by any chance?
Yeah, Mary Kay, as you can imagine, like we constantly talk to our players about making great decisions outside our building. That will never change. It's something that we'll remind our guys now in the off-season program. I'll remind them when the off-season program ends and we send everybody off for a brief respite before training camp. I mean, you're constantly talking to your guys about being safe. So that's where I would think about it.